over a period of practice, you will notice these sudden bursts in speed and sudden decrease in speed. That's completely normal. Every day is different. It could be because of lack of sleep, could be you didn't drink enough water that day, it could be you didn't exercise. So many factors are included. It's hard to keep a controlled experiment or a controlled factor when it comes to speed. Just know that if you have an off day, maybe just not play speed that day. It's very simple. If you have a really good day, try push yourself. But when you push yourself, don't push to the point where your hand hurts. If your hand hurts, that is the time to stop. It's very, very important that you always put your health of your wrist first before the speed building. You will have unlimited time to build speed. You can have unlimited time to build speed. You can build it over a month, build it over a day, build it over a year, build it over 10 years. You can build it for the rest of your life. But just remember, when you fuck your wrist, that span of time that you have is no longer unlimited. It's now limited. It's now limited, and now you can no longer build your speed. That I can't stress this enough, that you need to have good warm-ups. You have to have good warm-ups, good post warm downs, good stretches, good technique. You don't want your hand to hurt when you play speed, because if you do, then you're crippling yourself. And people are different. Some people might play 270 for 5 months, 270 for 5 hours and be completely fine. Some people might play 270 for 1 hour and they start having pains. If you have pains, stop. Just stop. Maybe play something lower BPM, and if you still continues to hurt, just stop playing. Just stop playing. Move it to another day. Move it to another day. Speed is always here. You're not fighting for anyone for it. It's not a limited quantity. It's not an object that you have to get. It's a skill that anyone can acquire. It's simple. Orcano, thanks for the 3 months. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. What are some stretches? What's his name? Professor Levi or whatever, that guy who did the wrist. He has great hand stretches and whatnot. He has great hand stretches. Even just after a very intense section, you can just do simple stretches like this. Maybe just do wrist rotations. Maybe after a really intense map, just warm down. You can go ahead and just play a lower BPM. There's no harm in just like playing something else and then going back right at it. Just remember, always beware of your hand. What do you recommend for warming up? I always recommend, so I talked about this earlier. For me, 50 BPM below your highest BPM is how I warm up. Yeah. And you go from the 50 below your highest BPM and you start working out from there. And if you need lower BPMs, then do lower BPMs. Just know that you'll know when the time is right to move up to a higher BPM, when you start getting more consistent at that BPM, and then you start going up. Sometimes it takes people 2 hours to warm up, 3 hours. Some people it takes 30 minutes. It's normal. How do you choose the map you want to play, hidden double time? Well, I just look at the leaderboards. That's how I choose it. Okay, so I'll talk about it. So there's different types of pain. There's sore, strain, and actual pain. So the difference between all of them is the strain. When you're doing a stream and you start straining, that's as long as the strain can be offloaded to your fingers away from your wrist, then that's strain. If you can't offload it and you start feeling sharp like pains, then that's where you should stop streaming. You should just stop. Like if you're in the middle of like a, I don't know, 180 BPM stream and you can no longer offload the strain and it starts hurting, then you should stop, because that's your muscle cramping up and telling your body, hey, this part of the muscle is being overworked, you should probably tone it down. And so that's where you should start. Now that would be pain. So there's two different things here, strain and pain. Pain is when you can't offload the strain and it starts to really hurt. Strain may be just like tension, like it'll just be like friction, like you'll just be like, it's like really solidified and hard to move. But usually when you're playing like higher amounts of BPM, strain is good. It's a way to push your hand to go faster. But at the same time, when you're going for longer streams, you want to reduce the amount of strain that you're putting on your hand to the point where you can start recovering stamina. If you get numb, it may be because you're very nervous, or it might be because you're overworking your muscle to the point where it no longer sends you pain signals, it starts sending you numbness. And that's also really bad. I can't comment on keeping nerves because mine is really bad. Yeah. Yeah, when you're lifting, let's say you're doing a bench press and you start getting like really tired near the end and you start pushing yourself, that is the strain and soreness that you can experience. But when it starts hurting, that's when you should start putting down the dumbbells or your bar and moving on. So you want to put strain. I'll write this down. So strain is good. Strain is good. Strain is good. But pain is not. 3. Finger lock is a very simple topic to cover. Finger lock happens when you're not used to the BPM, or B, you're straining too much. That's literally it. Those are the 2 reasons for finger lock. You can try yourself on your keyboard. Strain really hard, and then you'll start noticing like skipped inputs, or your hand might completely stop and you finger lock because you're straining too much. If you relax and you start just streaming the BPM, very rarely you'll finger lock. Maybe you might finger lock because you're not in that BPM sync, but that's usually it. And if you're not familiar with the BPM, then you'll probably finger lock most of the time. A burning sensation is like, okay, I know what you mean by a burning sensation. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. If it's a burning sensation over a really long stream, it's your body telling you it's really long and you should probably tone it down, and you should probably take a good rest after. But it's also good in a way that if you strain really hard for very short burst and it burns a little bit, it's good in a way how, like, if you are, when your muscles burn when you're doing a bench press and you're on like the last 2 and you can feel the burn, that's good because it's like, because realistically when you build muscles, you're basically breaking down your old muscles, like destroying them, and then over time, overnight, they rebuild and as stronger muscles. And that's basically how people get big. You break your muscles when you lift, and overnight they repair, and they repair better and stronger. So that's basically what it is. Yeah, a lot of it is also building speed. If you use muscles to build speed, like for example, I use my entire forearm rather than my wrist, because the wrist is a very sensitive muscle. If I use my forearm, I'm actually, you know, if I sleep overnight, it's gonna repair itself and it's gonna be better. So there's that. Flat fingers or curved, whichever one works better for you. I know that if it's flat, it might have some problems with dislocating your finger. I know that's a thing. Should you practice lower BPM? I don't actually know how to answer that single tapping one. That should be whatever you're most comfortable with, honestly. Should you practice lower BPM before you want to perfect high BPM? Yes. In a way, yes. When you want to, it's like the graph I showed earlier. If you have high burst speed, medium stream speed, and low death stream speed, if you perfect low death stream speed, you will indirectly increase your high burst speed and your stream speed. And if you increase your stream speed, you will indirectly increase your burst speed and your death stream speed. But if you increase your burst speed, you're not really working at anything regards to stream and death stream, because you're only doing it for such a short amount of time and you're putting a lot of strain for that high BPM raise. So you always want to, when you want to increase stream speed, if you want to increase your speed, you want to work on your stream speed and your death stream speed, never your burst speed. Okay, 400 notes is kind of, it's too exaggerated. That's too much. Focusing it. So it's like the same as how I was saying, like there's realistically, you want to, when you train death stream and stream speed, realistically there are no maps that are 400, 500 notes long. Maybe there are that are ranked that I'm not aware of, but it's just be smart. You don't need to stream 200 for 400 BPM for 400 notes. You might need it for some, like, I don't know, 200 a good one. Okay, sure, painters is one. Yeah, Painters, I don't know how long Painters is. Dynamo is whatever is actually loved, so it doesn't actually really count. I mean, you can, yeah, sure, use it to train it, but that's pretty much the only map. Deceit Violation is also is another one. But yeah, those are like very specific maps that there's only one of, you know what I mean? So sure, you can build your speed with that, but you're not realistically going to play every map. That you're not realistically going to need 400 notes streaming for every single map you play. Be realistic. That's how I would say. Like, sure, I can death stream 270, but that doesn't mean I can death stream 270 infinitely. I can death stream it for maybe 100 notes. That's a good good number. I'm only gonna need 100 notes for most maps, so I would say it's a good what's it called? A good number to work with. Coaching sessions? No, I don't. Okay, so there's that. I talked about I pretty much covered a lot of things already. I talked about building speed. I talked about technique, hand positioning, single tap correlation, switches. I can talk about finger control. Yeah, finger control. Oh, okay, that's another one. Finger control and bottoming out keys. So, yes and no. If you don't bottom out your keys, you're in a way kind of mashing. You should, if I can bottom out without even trying on an MX Brown switch, you should be able to bottom out with most switches then. Even if you don't mean to. Just how hard you press it is another topic. So acting streams basically are it's really very rhythm based, obviously for rhythm based game, but you want to be able to, a good way to get better act is to keep like a mental, you know, a beat for it. For example, if you're streaming 200 BPM, maybe have something like this. 1 2 3 4, like 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, like stuff like that. Just have like a good internal rhythm for it. Maybe even use a metronome or something like that, and then just combine it together. You want to stream it at constant speed. You don't want to be like you don't want to like go like all over the place. That's another perfection of speed that you need. When you, it's like the difference between a player. I talked about this analogy again. It's like there are two players. One can stream, both of them can stream 180, but one gets 70% AC and the other one gets 90. The 91 is more proficient at 180 than he is than the other player, because of the fact that he has a better accuracy, and because he has a better accuracy, he has a better like rhythm clock for it. The lower your AR, the better you are at the BPM. That's literally it. That's it. That's what the UR in that case means. I have to move my eye. Sure, you can try letterboxing. Letterboxing is a great way to lower the res of the monitor. Or yeah. Imagine streams and parts. Sure. I mean, if you have a break and you could put a stream there, you just tap along with it. Okay, I'll talk about finger control. Finger control is another topic I want to cover. So, doubles, quads. Incredibly hard. Very, very, very hard. How do I do it? How do I hit doubles? Let's say there are 4 doubles in the stream. How do I hit it? 4 quads in the stream. How do I hit it? I'm only going to talk about doubles and quads because those are the ones that I'm mostly accustomed to. And when you get to higher levels, it's just really hard for me as well. God, let me answer this question. I'm a player who has insanely varied streams. As an excited example, a little while ago, CD. Oh, if that happens, it just means that you've had an exceptional day and now you're having a very low peak. Throughout your month, you will have really high peaks and then you also have really low peaks. It's like there's so many factors that can affect that it's very hard to dictate which specific one that it is. So for example, it could be the lack of sleep. You might have gotten more sleep on that day than you did the previous days, or you might have played a map or various maps that might have, you know, boosted your stamina for a little bit, and the next day you're just faster. I'll always come back to this point where like when you build speed using muscles, you're essentially destroying the muscles that you're working and overnight repairing them as stronger and better. And it's how people who work out and people who go to the gym a lot and are super buff, that's how they get buffed. They bench like 150 and then they're breaking their muscles that they're using, and that's why you get sore after. They're breaking their muscles that they're using and they're repairing it overnight, whether it's from eating or from sleeping or from drinking water. It's stuff like that. That's how you build. It's the same way applied onto Osu, the same way you're building speed. You have that specific muscle that you're working and you're breaking down the muscles, and then overnight you're repairing them. So there's that. And it's gonna happen. Like, some days I can stream 270, some days I can barely tap 263, and you know what, it's fine. I'll just move on to a different day. I'll move on to a different skill set, and a different day I'll just do it. I'm so bad at space streams, I can't even explain them to you because I can't even do it myself. Yeah, good sleep, a good like schedule for meals, and drinking lots of water is like great. Like, you're already like doing your body. Not only is it good for playing Osu, it's also good on your health, your physical health, your mental health. It's just great. It's great in general to have a good lifestyle choices. It's great. Inconsistency mentally. If you have consecutive bad days, like that's another thing that you have to work towards. It's like having a good mental. Idki is a great example of a player with absolutely fucking amazing mental. He's like literally a statue when it comes to his mental. Does not care about anything, and that's the reason why his success is so high. If you want to progress in Osu, you are going to have bad days. You will have maybe a streak of bad days. You may have a month of a bad day. If you continue working towards your goal, towards whatever goal it may be, maybe it's like, I want to get to this rank, but I'm having consecutive bad days. It's gonna happen. You're gonna be frustrated. Everyone, it's normal. You just have to find ways to cope with it. Mentally, it's draining, and I know it is. Maybe taking breaks even helps, but you want to, I don't know. It's like the same idea of never giving up. You know, you don't want to give up just because you've fucking, I don't know, you fell on the ground twice. I choked. I fucking choked We Cry Open like 4 times. Didn't stop me from FCing it. Azer choked United like a shit ton of times. Didn't stop him from FCing United. Stuff like that. Like, you just, if you work towards your goal and you're actively pursuing it, and you're actively being aware of having bad days and having good days and having whatever it may be, as long as you go for it, it will happen. It will happen. It will happen. It will happen. You shouldn't let what other people tell you and dictate the way you play the game. You shouldn't be discouraged just because you had one bad day. So what if you had a bad day? Let's have a better day tomorrow. You had a bad day today to have a better day a different tomorrow. It's like stuff like that. What if I can't play daily and play like 3 days a week? Sure, then just play 3 days a week. I mean, if you have valid stuff to do IRL, then you should do them. Like, there's no reason not to do them. I mean, if they're part of your everyday lifestyle, you should do them. Osu is just a hobby. It's just a game. It shouldn't be like your main focus and everything, unless you're, I don't know, you're like Ed, where he just streams Osu all day and does everything. And then the competitive hobby, then at that point it's like multitasking. At that point it's basically multitasking. You gotta determine which one is more important to you. What's up with being able to stream consistently at 2 but having a hard time? Might be because you're straining more at 220 BPM than you're at 240 BPM. It's really simple. 240 you're playing like this. Hold on, I'll show it like this. 240 you're playing like this, and then at 220 you're slowing down, so you're tapping harder, and so you're losing stamina more that way. Pretty simple. It's either that or you, I don't know, that's literally the only way why you would be streaming, or you would be losing. it's good to tap harder for lower BPMs because it keeps you in BPM check, but it's also has a con as well to it because you're now straining more than you would before. Getting more rusty than I want to. Then that would be a case by case from different people. Some people like Vaxay not play for a month and come back still as strong as ever. It's different for everyone. At that point, I don't know how to realistically help you because I've never had problems like that, other than continuously playing. Some people continuously play and still decrease in skill. Some people play once a week and still maintain their skill. It's different. How do you prevent finger lock? Finger lock is basically the byproduct of not being proficient at the BPM you're streaming at or straining too much. Stops clicking or skips a click. Maybe. I don't actually know. I've never had that happen, so I can't give a solidified response to that. If your secondary finger is weaker, you could try strengthening it by single tapping with that finger. So just work that habit out of tapping very hard. Yep, you want to... I talked about it earlier. It's not on the stream. Strain is good. Pain is not. Strain, the reason why strain is good is strain is used to make you stream faster. You don't stream 300 by like lightly tapping or like by just going like this. You got to strain for it. Unless you're very the only time where you would not strain for high BPMs is when you are so proficient at that you start death streaming. Then you want to start, then you don't want strain. I talked about this. So I'll talk about it again. Okay, we'll go again. Oh shit, I didn't mean to do this. We'll go again. There are three types of, so there's burst, all right? There's stream, and there's death stream. Amir, thanks for the gift sub, or thanks for continuing this gift sub from Ruby. I appreciate it. Thank you. So there are three types of stream. There's burst. Burst will always be your highest, no matter what. Will always be the highest BPM you can stream. For example, it could be 240, 260, 230, 300, 350, whatever. Your stream speed will always be in the middle. It will always be a very like a medium. So say you can burst 240. Your stream speed might be 220, 230, 210, 200, something like that. And your death stream will always be consistently lower than that by a lot. Unless you work it up to where you are, it will always be the lowest. It will be like 180, 170. So let's say burst is 240, all right, and stream speed is 220, and 180 for death stream. All right, so we'll just use this, okay? Burst is utilizing strain, and here you are mostly utilizing strain. You strain hard to get the most out of your fingers at a short amount of time. You strain because you want that 300 at that 5-note burst. All right, maybe you might not act it well, but you are straining for it. Stream, you're straining, but not enough to where you instantly finger lock. You want when you stream, you want strain to be something to push you faster, but at the same time not something that makes you finger lock. And death stream, when you death stream, you don't want strain at all. If you strain, you're done. Because if you strain at least once in death stream, you're done. You're gonna start getting hundreds, and then you're gonna strain to not get hundreds, and then all of a sudden you've lost it. When you death stream at really high levels, you should be able to recover stamina while you death stream. All right, now I'll give you an example of a play that does that. So my transcend play, this play, it's 255, but it's extremely long. It's extremely long streams of 255. At this level, you want to regain stamina because there is no place for you to regain stamina on this map. Like, you are consistently at it, and at this point you want to regain stamina as you use up stamina. That's the kind of relaxation you need for that. But at the same time, that's dangerous because you may easily finger lock or mash at that point. But for death streams, you don't ever want to use strain. As soon as you strain, you start losing it. Stream is where you want to strain, but enough to keep you alive for that length. would you consider? I mean, if you lose grip, then yeah. So I have grip tape on my pen. Change it every now and then. How do you play for so long without getting RSI? Alright, so I'll talk about it again. When you build speed, you want to be incredibly mindful of the way you build it. If you have pains, rest for a day or two. You don't ever want a session where you have pains. If you can have strain, I had it earlier up on the screen. Strain is good, pain is bad. When you're, and there are different types of pain as well. There's the burning sensation. I'm pretty sure everyone here can relate to the burning sensation. When your hand starts burning, at short intervals, it's good because it's like, if you, let's say it's burning at burst. If it's burning at burst, you gotta be wary of how much you want to burn there, because it's like I will always compare this to working out. It's like working out. If you bench press and let's say you can normally do 10, but you're going for 15, and at 14 and 15 you feel like a burn in your forearms. That's the type of burn you're experiencing. If you're death streaming a very long stream and you start feeling burn, you gotta like tone it down, or at least after it, take a break, take a breather, and if it still hurts, just stop for the day. Because that kind of burn is your body telling you, hey, you know, it's starting to hurt. You're overworking your muscles. You're overworking your muscle. You should maybe take it easy. That's what it means. What kind of grip tape? I bought, this is the tennis grip tape. No, the best way to build stamina, if you want, okay, stamina falls in between this line. It's like right here. It's like in the middle here. This is stamina. If you want to build stamina, if you want to build stream speed, you work on death stream speed and stream speed. You never want to work on burst. Burst automatically go up if you improve these two categories. Okay, well, you know what I mean. The burn in your chest. Yeah, it's like that. If you work too hard, it could come from somewhere else. You put the collection.db file into your OSU folder. Lift your wrist full time. I mean, my wrist is always up. It's always up. What about finger control? Okay, let's talk about finger control. Triples and quick success. I'll talk about triples and finger control. So let's start with finger control. I use a technique called the gallop technique. It was first used and showed off by Mercurius. Basically what it means is if there's doubles, you gallop. So do a 2-note gallop on your keyboard, and that's how you do doubles. How do you do quads? It's the same thing, a gallop technique, but just combined into one. Now this will drain your stamina a lot.
Love you, man.
Is it going to timestamps? Probably. I don't know how it would work for it. Raise, thank you so much for the $4.20. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Love you, man. Thank you. His fingers, well, Marami, okay, I talked about it earlier. Marami, it's like the strain. You want to he's offloading his strain onto his thumb, pushing it against his keyboard. That's why his fingers don't really move. Tilting my hand when streaming. Oh, my hand tilts a lot to the left when I stream. I mean, I just move my keyboard more to the left. That's literally how I do it. So doubles are basically, you use the gallop technique. That's how you do it. That's how I did it, and that's how I learned it, but you will lose a lot of stamina when you do it. That's a really hard. And triples in quick succession, most of this has to be regain. A lot of triples in quick succession, if you're going off the same. Do you hybrid or stay on one tapping style? What do you mean? Like single tap and alternate? I mean, I do both. I use the first one. Sometimes I use the last one. It depends. I just use it. If you use strain on the tapping fingers, then you are basically setting yourself up for finger locks. If you lose, okay, so this is another one I'll talk about. I forgot to talk about this. Single tap and alternating. So for me, I use alternating as a way to regain stamina. For example, you will see it a lot. I'll just randomly start alternating, because the reason why is because when I'm single tapping, I'm straining my entire arm. But when I'm alternating, I'm no longer straining anything. I've offloaded the strain into 2 fingers. So now the strain is on both fingers, and now I'm able to just relax. So when you lose what's it called? If you're having troubles alternating or losing speed while alternating, it's basically because you're like tapping like this. You're really straining when you alternate. Here, I'll give you an example here. I can just delete everything here. All right, so let's say this is your energy bar, okay? So this is your energy bar, okay? This is max. This is you're at the top. I shouldn't color it in. So this is at the top at the start of the map. So at the start, okay? So as you play forth, you'll start losing it. You're losing it. You're losing it. Let's say there's a really intensive. There's an intensive part, and then you go from, or like you're playing from here to here, and then before the intensive part, and then after the intensive part, you're like here. Like if there's another stream, you'll barely be able to hit it. In order to increase this energy bar, I literally alternate, right? If you alternate and your energy bar is already here because you're straining, then you've already set yourself up for failure. Strain is the #1 cause of how you lose it. So strain is how this bar goes down. People have different ways of regaining. You want to be able to, maybe it's breaks. Maybe at a break you might soar back up to full power. Or if you alternate, you might soar back up. For example, I alternate and my energy bar goes back up. And that's why I want to alternate. At higher levels of play, where I talked about regaining stamina, what's happening is at the start of the map, so like my transcend play, I started off here. As I'm going down, it's deteriorating pretty rapidly, and then I go ahead and offload all strain away. I try my best to relax and offload all strain away, and so my strain starts going up even though I'm still streaming 255, death streaming. And so it starts to go up, but only slightly, because at the same time there's still strain because you are still streaming 255. And so instead of a bar that just goes down, you're now getting something where you just start hovering at around, and you're still gonna go down. You're still gonna go down, but you're now going down significantly lower than if you were to completely strain and not recover stamina. So this is how strain affects your stamina. So this is like a stamina bar, I guess. And some people, death streaming, you just go whew, all the way down to 0. And some people on higher BPMs, like 285 stream, you go whew, all the way down to 0. It happens like that because you're straining. It happens. With your wrist on the table, should you raise it? I mean, it's good to raise it because you're lowering your chances of getting RSI, because you're offloading your wrist strain onto your entire forearm. I can't give you aim hard jumps because I'm not a jump player. So my top single tap speed 285 on really good days, and 300 on really good days. I talked about it with increasing streaming stamina. You want to go in increments. There are plenty of tools like OSU tools to help you out. You want to go in increments. You want to take your max. You want to increasing your stream speed. You want to increase your death stream speed and your stream speed. If you increase your death stream speed, you increase the accuracy and how well you do on higher BPMs as you go up. The 3 main parts are burst, stream speed, and death stream speed. You define your comfort by the fastest you can do burst. You can use Isegue. Isegue is a great way to determine your death stream and your stream. Like I talked about it in the beginning of the stream. Let me go into it. This is basically a burst. Mine, like 9 notes is basically a burst. 9 is the max a burst can be. Anything below that is also a burst. Anything above it is a stream. Like this is a stream. This is what most streams are gonna be. Maybe even lower. I know nowadays they're like 18, maybe up to here, and that's it. This is a stream. This is a death stream. Anything higher than that, anything Anything higher than that is also a death stream. Anything slightly lower is also. This is a great measurement of burst stream and death streams. There's a white outline. I know there's a white outline. I did it on purpose. It's nice. It makes it look nicer. Maybe. Just as long as you aren't having your wrist as the main, what's it called? Way of streaming. I look at the cursor, or where it is on the cursor. Oh damn, you really just took notes on everything, didn't you? Holy shit. Damn, you are... Holy shit. Holy shit, man. Oh my god. What a great guy. This man went crazy. This man went crazy, man. He went brazy. Damn. Good job. Holy shit. Well, there you go. Condensed. Wow. Amazing. Holy shit. That is actually insane. Holy crap. Good job. Wow. Got everything down. Damn. That was sick. That is sick. That is good job. Speed does get exponentially harder as you go on. For example, even for me, it is so hard for me to get from 270 to 285. The jump from there is so hard. It is very, very, very hard. It's like earthquakes. Like an earthquake 10 is a lot bigger than a 9 magnitude. It's like that. When you get to really high levels of BPM, it takes a much more effort and much more technique and ways to fix it, or to deal with it. Is it behind? Okay, here, I'll fix it. Sure, I will make a speed with that link in a second. Yep, I can do lower BPM streams. Good way to do lower BPM streams is to tap harder. That way it keeps your BPM in check. But it does come at a cost. You will maybe lose stamina faster because you are now straining to keep to tap harder. Malphos 18, right? That's your name. I didn't actually see. Oh, Malphos 20. Oops. Why did I say 18? Why did I think? How often do I think I will stream from now on? I don't know. Maybe once in a while. Oh, I can also. I think that pretty much sums it up. I got everything I needed to talk about in speed, and I hope it helped a lot of people. That was really good talk. What BPM did I start on? 200 BPM. 200 BPM. You're in uni now? Yep. I can talk a lot. Well, I mean, when you're in university, you gotta bullshit a lot, especially in presentations and improvisations. You want practice bursts? What did they teach you? Oh, when I want to practice bursts, I don't really work on. I never practice bursts because I always focus on stream and death streams because bursts naturally increase the higher BPMs you go. With your eyes called floaters. I don't actually know what floaters are. What do you think? Do you think people can barely hold 180 can be a speed? Anyone can be a speed player. I don't think speed is genetics. I don't think speed in any way, shape, or form is genetics. Yes, there's talent involved. It's like the same as, you know, two people can have different IQ ranges, but both of them can achieve the same goals if they work hard. I don't believe in speed being a closed off skill that only certain people can get. I definitely don't think that, because I certainly wasn't a speed player when I first started playing. I certainly was not even close to anything related to speed. I was just in 2017, I was just another generic aimer that reached top 10. And in 2017, I was literally like Lifeline. Joined top 10 through aim maps specifically. And so I wanted to. I'm not okay. That was really bad. I didn't mean to like diss Lifeline. He's a great player. I think people who play aim are absolutely amazing. I just think there's such an influx in them that I wanted to stand out rather than be a part of some of the same group of people. For example, instead of being player I was in 2017, I wanted to be something different. Great influences came from people like Arison and Doomy. Doomy specifically. I don't know why, but Doomy specifically made me play speed. Mostly because he constantly dissed. He was like, "Oh, I can single tap 300. Oh, Ryan, why are you alternating? Wow, Ryan, you can't even play that." Specifically influenced my my direct motivation to play speed. It's not a Lifeline roast. Okay, I don't understand how that was a roast. I literally just said he's a great player that joined the top 10, just like how I joined the top 10 in 2017, specifically catered around aim. That's literally what I did. I brought up, I could say the same about MREC, but he's a higher rank than what I did. I only got top 10 when I did it in 2017. I mean, anyone can become really good at speed. What am I doing in uni? Astrophysics. It's all about motivation. It's all about motivation, perseverance, patience, time, perseverance. I don't know if I already said that. It's everything like that. I mean, sure, I'll come on and play. There's no reason not to. I don't see. Just want to thank you for how good it was. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the kind messages. Thank you. Thank you. With non-main finger, that's just a lot of practice. A lot of practice. Gorsh, great map to play improve stamina. Very, very good finger control maps. Great rhythmic complexities in those maps. Yep. Sure, MREC could be, for all I know, I could come back 1 year later and everyone's a speed player. Possible. I'm just saying, it's not like a closed off community or anything. It's definitely capable. Anyone is capable of doing it. Switching tapping keys is good for, yeah. I mean, if you don't want your keyboard to die, yeah. I'll be playing in OWC, yeah. I'll be playing more, I'll play a lot of tournaments because, I don't know, they're fun. They don't take up a lot of time, and they're pretty cool. Instead of just 5 hours a day playing farm maps. I do have a dual PC setup. What's your favorite mapper? I don't know. I have a lot of favorite mappers. I mean, you can use it, no fail. There's no problem with that. I just only changed grips. I kept areas. Laughin' Yeah has like really, I don't know. His maps are like average. They're just hard. That's it. Yeah, if school is less time consuming. I mean, right now I could play OSU. I mean, it's not time consuming now because it's only the beginning. Most classes don't even have any assessments out yet. Road to Resistance Monstrata and Ascension to Heaven by Kreutz. If I play those, it's recommended to have really good basics. You should have really good basics first. Speed is something that you develop later on, and you can develop it anytime you want. Why should mashing be viable at high BPM? Because at higher, like let's say 300 BPM, the reason why I say mashing is If I go like this, I don't actually know how many notes I just collected. But if I go like this, I know I clicked like 12 or 13 there. That's 9. Like, I can know. But when you mash, I can go like this and I'll be like, what the fuck did I just do? I don't even know what I just did. The reason why mashing is viable at higher BPMs is because you want to force, at those inhumane BPMs, you want to force as much speed as possible. And it's the same as this. It's this strain graph, right? You want to force as mashing is like it's sort of like the hovering stamina bit. It like it reduces the amount of strain for that area of streaming. So for example, if you stream 300 BPM, it's like sure, I could have just streamed 300. I just don't know how many notes I did it. That's why really high BPMs, mashing is actually pretty okay. But still, it's better to just know it like this. But it's hard. It's hard at that level. I pretty much mash at that level because it's way too hard for me. Low BPM and high slider velocity maps. I mean, I look at every map. I'm gonna keep this open so my DMs don't get leaked. Oh, it is already getting leaked now. How long does it take to get used to tablet? Took me a month, but it was a month into playing the game. How do I just make this not pop up? I'll just put it on do not disturb. There you go. Do you plant your tap arm elbow? Yes, my elbow is on a elbow rest. I mean, it's a level of okay, personally I use my forearm to tap rather than my wrist because I'm offloading the strain from my wrist to my forearm. That way I have a lower chance of getting RSI. How long did it take? It took me 3 years. 3 years to get where I am now. Starting from 2017. And I practiced really hard. Pretty damn hard. I didn't get my my first speed score until like end of 2018. I'm probably not gonna play as much